Hello my friends and my dear students, I hope you are doing good. So today we're going to see another lesson concerning English grammar and basically English tenses, so الأزمنة في اللغة الإنجليزية, and we're going to see a tense called the future perfect. Okay, future perfect يعني المستقبل التام, and we have it again here just like the past perfect, بحال past perfect وال present perfect فيه continuous و simple. Okay, so future perfect tense and future perfect continuous with the focus on the future perfect لأن يركزوا أكثر على المستقبل التام. Okay, first let's see the form of the future perfect. So the future perfect is composed of two elements. يعني في two elements will have, دائما كتكون will have plus the past participle of the verb. Okay, example. So here is it the form subject plus will have plus past participle ديال main verb. He will have finished. I will have finished. Okay, so نذكروا بالpast participle شفناه راه فيه جوج حالات, فيه الريجولر هما اللي كيزادهم ed بحال finish finished, والirregular بحال go كتولي gone مثلا في past participle. Okay, now let's conjugate the verb, for example finish in the future perfect and basically في affirmative case. Okay, so I will have finished, you will have finished, he will have finished, she will have finished, it will have finished, we will have finished, you will have finished, they will have finished. Okay, so here notice we have will have كلهم مع جميع subjects pronouns plus finished. It's the verb finish plus past participle, it becomes finished. Negative case. Okay, now let's see حالة النفي. So I will not have finished. Notice here what do we add? We add not. يعني زدنا negative marker يعني اللي كيدل على النفي هو not. ممكن نقولوا I will not have finished, ولا نختصروها بحال في السبجكت الثاني you won't have finished. So will not كتولي won't. So we won't have finished, he won't have finished, she won't have finished, it won't have finished, we won't have finished, you won't have finished, they won't have finished. It's the same form. يعني الأسهل في هذا الفيوتشر بيرفكت هو نفس الفورم كتعاود مع جميع subject pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they نفسها. Okay, now let's see the interrogative case يعني question طرح سؤال. So will I have finished? Will you have finished? Will he have finished? Will she have finished? Will it have finished? Will we have finished? Will you have finished? Will they have finished? So here notice what happened, that we start with will, then subjects pronoun, then have. Okay, so there is an inversion between auxiliary between will and subjects pronouns. Okay, هما اللي كيوليو في الأول will and subjects pronoun between after them, then have and finished. Okay, so this is the interrogative case. Okay, here is a summary of the future perfect tense, يعني التصريف ديالو في الحالات بثلاثة. So future perfect tense is used to express the action that will be completed in the future at some time. يعني كنستعملوه باش نهضروا على واحد الحدث اللي غيسالي في واحد الوقت محدد في المستقبل, هادشي غنشوفوه من بعد. So affirmative كنشير لها دائما بعلامة plus زائد, subject plus will plus have plus the verb في ال past participle. I will have taken the exam. I will have taken the exam. So taken here is the past participle of the verb take. نفس الجملة غنديروها في النيجاتيف. So subject plus will plus not plus have plus v3 هذاك هو الverb في ال past participle. So I will have not taken the exam. Okay, I will have not taken the exam. Number 3, interrogative. So will plus subject plus have plus verb in the past participle. So will I have taken the exam? Will I have taken the exam? So this is a summary of the forms of future perfect tense. Okay, now let's see the use of the future perfect tense. يعني استعمال لاش كنستعملوا هاد future perfect tense. Okay, let's look at the slide here. So we have usage, استعمال, and we have example. So we use it to talk about an action that will finish before a certain time in the future. يعني كنستعملوه باش نتكلموا على واحد الحدث اللي غيسالي في واحد الوقت قبل واحد الوقت محدد في المستقبل. مثلا by 8 o'clock tomorrow، يعني مع 8 غدا I will have taken off for Japan. Okay, but by 8 o'clock tomorrow I will have taken off for Japan. Alright, next one, to talk about an action that will be completed before another event takes place. Okay, باش نتكلموا على واحد الحدث في المستقبل قبل واحد الحدث آخر ما يوقع في المستقبل تاعو، قبل واحد الحدث آخر في المستقبل. Okay, so she will have learned Chinese before she moves to China. She will have learned Chinese before she moves to China. يعني غادي تتكلم اللغة الإنجليزية قبل ما تنتقل للصين. اوكي، تعلم اللغة الصينية قبل ما تنتقل للصين. sorry. So she will have learned. Here learned is the past participle of the verb learn، وممكن يكون حتى learned. هنا عنده جوج حالات، ممكن نقولوا she will have learned or learned. Okay, the third usage, so to express conviction that something happened in the near past. Okay, so باش نعبروا على واحد الحاجة اللي غتوقع يعني في الماضي القريب جدا. So the guest will have arrived at the hotel by now. The guest will have arrived at the hotel by now. يعني الضيوف غيكونوا وصلوا للفندق في هذا الوقت هذا، يعني واحد شويه قبل في الباست الحدث وقع. اوكي، بس ركزوا على الاستعمال الاول هو الاساسي والغالب، يعني كنستعملوا لواحد التانس لواحد الحدث اللي غيسالي في المستقبل قبل واحد الوقت محدد مثلا ولا في واحد الوقت محدد. Okay, here is another explanation of the use. So she will have finished her work by 11 o'clock. She will have finished her work by 11 o'clock. Look here. So we have the arrow عندنا السهم فيه past now. So she's reading the book. Okay. The future 11 a.m. في هذيك النقطة مع 11 مثلا. So work is going on to complete in future. Expected completion of time is 11 a.m. يعني بدات كتقرا دابا ولكن كنتوقعوا هاد سالي قراءة الكتاب مثلا by 11 o'clock مع 11 ولا قبل 11 بشويه for example. اوكي، هذا هو الاستعمال ديالو، يعني كنستعملو باش نتكلموا على واحد الحدث غيسالي في المستقبل قبل واحد الوقت ولا في واحد الوقت محدد. Here is a note that you should pay attention to. So in spoken English you will hear connected speech، يعني في الإنجليزية speaking غتسمع mainly when people talk fast، يعني الناس اللي كيهضروا بسرعة غتسمع مثلا عوض ما تسمع I will have done it اسمع I'll have done it. I'll have done it. Okay, so here but you can only write the following. ولكن في الكتابة كنكتبوا I will have done it or I'll have done it. I'll have done it. So you can't write I'll have done it. ما كنختصروش جوج كلمات، يعني اختصار ممكن يكون في كلمة واحدة صافي. اوكي، ما يمكنش نختصروا I will ونختصروا I have، نختصروا وحدة فيهم. but في speaking غتسمعوا هكا I'll have done it. I'll have done it، ما غتسمعش I will have done it. Okay, so this is just a note here to be careful about. Here the function, it's almost the use. So the future perfect tense refers to a completed action in the future. When we use this tense, we are projecting ourselves forward into the future and looking back at an action that will be completed sometime later than now. It's most often used with a time expression. The time expressions اللي كيكونوا غنشوفوهم مع future perfect. Example here, I will have been here for 6 months on June 23rd. Okay, I will have been here for 6 months on June 23rd. يعني دائما كنحددوا واحد التاريخ في المستقبل. By the time you read this, I will have left. By the time you will read this, I will have left. Won't they have arrived by 5 o'clock? Won't they have arrived by 5 o'clock? Okay, so these are just some examples. Okay, here are some times expressions that we use with future perfect. As you know, each time or each tense has its specific time expressions. Example, this time next week. هذا الوقت الأسبوع المقبل، ولا this time next Wednesday or next Monday. By 2021, by 2021. 5 o'clock, by 5 o'clock, by this evening, okay, for example. before Monday, before June, before 2021, for example, in 10 years time, in 2 months time, for example. So these are just a few expressions that we use with future perfect. Okay, now let's move to practice. So after we have seen the form and use and function, now we can see do some exercise about future perfect. Okay, so put the verbs between brackets in the correct form. 1. Barbara and her husband visit the south of Morocco by the end of next week. 2. Next week, that football player play with our national team for 6 years. By 2021, or by 2021, our population increase enormously. Increase يعني ترتفع ولا تزداد مثلا بشكل كبير. 4. By the beginning of June, my father returned to France. 2 new private radio stations start by the end of the next month. 6. Many women join this association by the beginning of the next year. 7. Scientists develop a new vaccine for AIDS in 10 years. Okay, so these are examples. You try to put the verbs in brackets in the future perfect tense. Okay, so here are the keys. So 1. Barbara and her husband will have visited the south of Morocco by the end of next week. 2. Next week, that football player will have played with our national team for 6 years. 3. By 2021, our population will have increased enormously. 4. By the beginning of June, my father will have returned to France. 5. 2 new private radio stations will have started by the end of next month. 6. Many women will have joined this association by the beginning of next year. 7. Scientists will have developed a new vaccine for AIDS in 10 years. So notice here that there are times expressions by the end, in 10 years. غالبا كنستعملوا مع by the end of, by the beginning of, for example. Okay, so these are the keys to the exercise that we have just seen before. Okay, now let's see the future perfect continuous and start with the form. So the future perfect continuous is composed of 2 elements. نفسه. So the future perfect of the verb to be, so is, will have, been, plus the present participle of the main verb. يعني عندك الverb كنزيدوه ing. Okay, so for example, here we have subject plus will have been. Okay, so دائما كتكون will have been plus present participle. Example, he will have been playing. He will have been playing. I will have been playing. Okay, I will have been playing. Okay, so here is a summary of the future perfect continuous tense. You have the example here. The children will have been studying in classroom for 3 hours. So positive or affirmative structure, subject plus will have been plus verb ing form. يعني كنزيدوه ing form plus time expressions or time reference إلا كانت. Example, she will have been learning French for 2 weeks. She will have been learning French for 2 weeks. Negative form, structure, subject plus will plus not plus have been plus verb ing form plus time expression or time reference. Example, she will not have been learning French for 2 weeks. She will not have been learning French for 2 weeks. We can make it short. She won't have been learning. Will not نقدروا نردوها won't. Interrogative case structure, will plus subject. هنا بحال future perfect كنبداو ب will نتبعوا subject. So will plus subject plus have been plus verb ing. Okay. Example, will she have been learning French for 2 weeks? Will she have been learning French for 2 weeks? So these are the forms, the 3 forms of the present future perfect tense. Okay, the use استعمال. Just like with the other perfect continuous tense and the future perfect simple, we can use the future perfect continuous to say how long for an action that continues up to another point in the future. يعني بحال future perfect كنقولوا شحال غياخد نوع الحدث اللي غيوقع في المستقبل قبل وقت محدد. Okay. So the second point can be a time or another action. Generally we need for plus length of time. غالبا كتكون مع الاكسبريشن ديال for plus واحد المدة زمنية. for plus length of time. Example, in April she will have been teaching for 12 years. لاحظوا for 12 years. No, for plus length of time. Example 2, by the time you arrive I will have been cooking for hours. By the time you arrive I will have been cooking for hours. Here is another example. By the end of November Jack will have been studying at university for 4 years. By the end of November Jack will have been studying at the university for 4 years. هنا عندنا عاوتاني for 4 years يعني مدة زمنية. Okay, now let's see the future perfect continuous and work on an exercise, okay? And this will practice. Okay, so put the verbs between brackets in the correct form. 1. I wait here for 3 hours by 6 o'clock. لاحظوا عندنا time indicator by 6 o'clock ولكن عندنا for 3 hours هنا استعملوا future perfect continuous. 2. By 2021 I live in London for 16 years. Okay. 3. When I finish this course I learn English for 20 years. 4. Next year I work here for 4 years. 5. When I come at 6 o'clock you practice long. So here it's a question, interrogative. Okay, here are the keys of the exercise. So 1. I will have been waiting here for 3 hours by 6 o'clock. 2. By 2021 I will have been living in London for 16 years. 3. When I finish this course I will have been learning English for 20 years. 4. Next year I will have been working here for 4 years. 5. When I come at 6 o'clock, will you have been practicing long? Alright, so these are the answers of the exercise. If you have any question, just put it in the comment side. Okay, so we come to the end of this video. It was about future perfect and future perfect continuous. So basically the form is will have plus verb plus past participle. And use is we use it for an action that will happen in the future before another time. يعني كان واحد الحدث اللي غيوقع في المستقبل قبل واحد الوقت محدد في المستقبل. Okay. And we have seen examples of future perfect tense. We have also seen future perfect continuous and we say the form. الفورم ديالو هي will have been plus verb plus ing. It's used for an action that will happen in the future but we insist on the length of time. يعني كنركزوا على المدة اللي غياخد باش يوقع الحدث قبل واحد الحدث في المستقبل. Okay. قبل واحد الوقت محدد في المستقبل. And that's it. So if you have any question don't forget to write it in the comment sign and they will try to answer it. Thank you very much for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with students and anyone who is interested in learning English. Bye. Stay safe.